So a few months ago I was playing a game with my friends called Role Models, and the point of this game is that there's an overall category, and within the category there's however many objects as there are friends, and you have to assign one object to each friend, and you get more points if your assigned objects are the same or similar to those of the group as the overall group. And so the certain round we played was lyrics to the song All Star by Smash Mouth. And so we had to assign one lyric to each friend. And my friends unanimously decided that I was lyric number 3. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. I don't know if that's because I have the most impending sense of doom. I don't know if that's because they think I'm always very busy. Some people have told me I'm frantic or frazzled. I don't know if that's why, but this is the one they assigned me. I laughed, I thought it was all fun and good, but the next day I was thinking about it and I was reminded of something that I was told by my high school guidance counselor. And so I was in Mr. Schoen's office one day and he was just asking me if I knew where I wanted to go to college yet. And I told him I didn't know, and I said, but Mr. Schoen, I feel like time's going so fast. I feel like I'm running out of time to make this decision, and it's really important. And he goes, Lindsay, I know, but I have to be honest with you. Time isn't going to slow down from here. It's just going to keep going, and all of a sudden you're going to be done with college, and you won't know what happened. And I think that's very true, because now I'm halfway done with college, and I feel like I had that conversation relatively close to right now. But it was 4 years ago, and it blows my mind that it was that long ago, and I really think he had a lot of truth to what he was saying. And I think part of the reason, too, why choosing a college or choosing a major holds so much weight is because it's really, in a sense, us trying to find our purpose. I was trying to find something that I was good at that could be my life's work, that I could say, this is my purpose, and this is how I'm living into it, and this is the work that I'm doing, and this is the school that I'm going to get there. And I think just, the sense of pressure of I want to find a purpose, but I'm under this time crunch in which I need to decide really can stress a lot of people out and cause a lot of anxiety in some ways. And so I think one way to deal with that anxiety is through art and through music especially. And so while I was preparing for this presentation, I was just listening to music, as one does as they go about and do things. And there were 2 lyrics that specifically stood out to me as being very relevant to everything I was thinking about in my head. And one of them's from a band called Vista Kicks, and their song is called If I Didn't Have You. And the lyric simply states, if time is the driver, tell me who's going to steer. And I think that's really a deep insight because time is a driver. We don't get to control it. I can't pull a car over, press the brake and tell time to stop and wait. It doesn't go that. Likewise, I can't tell time to hurry up. It goes at the same consistent speed, and I'm just along for the ride, and I have to choose how to use my time and what is worthy of my time, but I don't get to decide how fast or how slow time goes. Additionally, I had another lyric from one of my favorite bands, Judah and the Lion, from their album Pep Talks, and this song is called Over My Head, and the very first lyric of the song is, what's my purpose? What's my future? I don't know. And I think that is such a deep and universal lyric, just because I think everyone asks those questions at some point or another in their life. What is my purpose? And what is my future? And I don't know that, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. But there's this sense of time, and the tempo of the song when it comes in is very rapid. It's like you can feel the time is passing and you need to decide right now. And everyone is looking for their purpose, and they're thinking, if this is my purpose, then how does that impact my future? And if I don't know my purpose right now, then how does that impact my future? And I think those 2 things really go hand in hand along with the time situation. And I think this is also important because this song comes directly after a song on this record called Quarter Life Crisis. And the whole premise of that song is, I don't know how much time I have. I'm almost 20. This could potentially be my quarter life marker. I don't know. I could have passed it already. It could be in a little while. I have no way to gauge that. But all I know is that time is fleeting and I want to make the most of it. So people are having these crises because they want to find their purpose and they want to find the thing they're supposed to do and live into that. And when you feel like you aren't, but you also feel the sense of time is running out, that can be really hard to handle, and it can create a lot of dissonance. and it can create a lot of anxiety built up. And so psychology even addresses this issue of what does it mean to have a purpose and what does it mean to be human? And Abraham Maslow was a psychologist who was mainly active in the 70s, and he was a proponent of humanism. He was the founder of it, which is just a school of psychology, but he created this hierarchy of needs, which I'm sure many of you already know about. But essentially the bottom tier needs, which are love and belonging, safety needs, and physiological needs, those are the needs that we share with animals, and those are called deficiency needs. And so once those needs are met, you don't have to worry about them. So physiological needs are like starvation and hunger. When you're hungry, you can't worry about being safe. You first need to get food before you can be safe. And so once you meet those needs, you can move up. And even animals, they travel in packs, which brings a sense of belonging and brings a sense of love, and they have parents and groups and all of these things. So humans and animals share deficiency needs, and once you meet them, they're met and you can move on. But really what's unique to humans is these top two needs, which are self-actualization and esteem, and those needs are known as being needs. And so essentially, we are continuously striving to meet them. There is never a time in which you can say, I am fully self-actualized. In fact, the whole definition of self-actualization is the process of finding one's purpose and finding how you can best live that out. And so we're never complete. We can never just say, I've fully found my purpose and I've fully done everything I can to do to live into it. There's so many sides to that dice, and there's no way that we can just achieve it and be done like these bottom tier needs. And so really I think that's what separates us from animals, and that's what makes humans humans. And there's so many examples, even in pop culture, of people trying to find their purpose in life. So this is Monica Aldama. She's the cheer coach at Navarro, which is a junior college in Texas, and she's the coach on the Netflix series Cheer. And she only has her kids for 1, 2, maybe 3 years at the most, and she's trying to make champions, and she's trying to teach these kids respect and accountability and things like that, but she only has them for a short time. And she does, in the documentary, she essentially speaks to the fact that helping these kids, many of which have come from really tough circumstances, is more or less her life purpose, but she only has so long to work with them. So she is tough, but she loves them. This is Joe Exotic. Many of you may know him as Tiger King. He is chasing after fame and fortune. He thinks, or he hopes, that's his purpose in life. He's really going after that. He's using the tigers to get that. I think it's ironic that everything he's been striving for his whole life, he's finally receiving, but now he's in jail. And he has this sense of time is running out placed on him because he was sentenced to 79 years in prison, when in fact, he will not live another 79 years. So he's looking at spending the rest of his life in prison, all because he went about getting fame and fortune in the wrong way. Minimalism was a documentary I watched last semester, and I know many of you watched it as well. It essentially highlighted the fact that these people were really unhappy. Most of them had everything they wanted. One man had a very successful job on Wall Street, but they were unhappy and they decided they needed to make a change. They decided that wasn't their purpose and that can't be all to life that there is. So they sold their things, they got rid of their things, they downsized their house, they made drastic changes to their life in order to find a fulfilling purpose. And really deal with the dissonance that they were feeling between what they had and what they wanted. Even Taylor Swift, she has the fame, she has the fortune, but in her documentary Miss Americana, it more focuses on her desire to speak up and to be an advocate for certain issues because she does have this big platform. But she's a prime example of how you can fulfill purpose but also have a creative outlet, because her purpose is not solely to date people and make music, but that is a great creative outlet for her. And so we get these amazing songs from her, and she writes these songs that have so much meaning, but for her, that is the way she processes and deals with emotions, and it's really a great creative outlet for her. And I think a lot of people are seeing that in quarantine. They're baking bread, or they're painting, or they're listening to music or making music, and we're all just trying to deal with all of these emotions that we have, especially in quarantine when it's an unprecedented time. What is my purpose during this time? We don't know, so we deal with it through creativity and through making something that we can be proud of and trying to find our purpose along the way. And then last semester, I read a book called The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane by Lisa See, and I think this is a prime example of trying to find your purpose. The whole premise of the book is that a girl leaves her family in a mountain village in China, and she moves to the big city. She's also lost her husband and her daughter, and she has a set amount of time that she needs to find them before it's too late. And the whole story is essentially she's trying to find her purpose away from her family and away from everything she knows, and she's trying to do it within a set amount of time so she can accomplish what she needs to accomplish. So in the end, I really think that what it means to be human is to have a purpose and to strive to find and live into that purpose. We all have something we want to accomplish. We all want something that we can say is our life's work and feel a sense of fulfillment through that. And I think we're all just really looking for what our purpose is. And I think a lot of times in trying to find that purpose and through the process of that, and even just through the process of living life and experiencing emotions and letdowns, we often need an outlet for that. And I think creativity offers a great outlet. And I think that can put a lot of value on what we do, even if it's not our necessarily big purpose. I think creativity goes hand in hand with purpose and the ability to cope and to be fully human. Thank you.